Denise Richards and Aaron Phypers are facing a difficult separation that has unfolded publicly and emotionally, drawing attention from friends, colleagues, and longtime followers of their relationship. Denise Richards reaches a turning point. According to a Hollywood insider who spoke with B&B, Richards reached a moment of clarity during a challenging recovery period following a medical procedure. The insider shared that the stress surrounding her healing process, combined with growing marital tension, pushed her to reevaluate her future. She was exhausted, physically, mentally, emotionally, the insider explained. She realized she needed peace, stability, and a healthier environment, and she didn't feel she had that anymore. That's when she knew something had to change. The source added that Richards had previously discussed a few boundaries and suggestions she hoped would help repair the relationship. When those efforts didn't lead to improvement, she felt the marriage had reached a point where moving forward together no longer seemed possible. Denise Richards says she had enough. Richards faced another recovery period from a second medical procedure. During this time, the insider shared, she privately made the decision to end the marriage once she had regained her strength. She wanted to avoid additional stress during an already overwhelming period. Over the 4th of July weekend, tensions reportedly reached new heights. The insider claimed that communication between Richards and her husband grew increasingly strained, and she finally expressed to members of his family that she felt it was best for the couple to part ways. She wished to prioritize her well-being and maintain a calm environment while recuperating. The insider added, she wasn't angry, she was simply ready. She felt she had tried everything she could, but the situation was no longer sustainable. How Denise Richards learned the divorce had been filed. Richards had intended to wait until her recovery was complete before taking any formal steps. However, the insider revealed that she ultimately learned of the divorce filing online. She was still healing, so she had postponed her own filing until she felt physically strong enough to handle the logistics, the source said. When she saw it online, it wasn't shocking, but it was inconvenient, given she was still recovering. Shortly after, media reports circulated suggesting she was caught off guard and trying to reconcile. The insider said these claims didn't reflect reality. In truth, she had been preparing herself emotionally for quite some time. She wasn't trying to go back, the source noted. Aaron reportedly wanted to fix things. The insider claimed that in the weeks that followed, Aaron appeared to regret acting so quickly. Without Richard's presence and support, he began noticing the shift in his daily life. He realized that ending things so abruptly wasn't the solution, the insider shared. He had relied on her guidance and stability for years, and it hit him that life would look very different without her. According to the source, Richards remained firm in her decision and continued moving forward. Denise Richards focuses on peace and safety. Friends close to Richards say she has been focused on creating a calm, stress-free environment as the divorce proceedings continue. She has taken steps to establish boundaries she feels are necessary for her personal well-being. She felt a sense of relief once things were formally set into motion, the insider explained. She had held on to the marriage longer than she wanted because she didn't want conflict. It took a lot of emotional strength for her to finally step away. Richards was recently granted a long-term legal measure that ensures she can maintain distance and peace throughout the separation process. Those close to her say it has brought her a sense of safety and clarity. She's ready to rebuild, the insider said. She wants to focus on her career, her kids, and her happiness. This chapter was difficult, but she knows brighter days are ahead. A divorce with no clear ending, yet. The legal proceedings between Richards and Phypers remain ongoing with no definitive end in sight. Settlement discussions and court dates continue, but those close to the actress say she is in a much better emotional space than she was a year ago. She's stronger now, the insider concluded. She's done letting chaos control her life. Whatever happens next, she's ready. As the weeks passed following the initial filing, those close to Denise Richards began to notice a gradual shift in her energy. She had spent so long trying to hold the marriage together, trying to maintain stability, that the moment she stepped back emotionally, a calmness began replacing the constant anxiety she once felt. Friends described it as watching someone finally exhale after holding their breath for too many years. She wasn't trying to hurt anyone, a longtime friend shared. She just realized she had been living in survival mode for too long. Once she let go of the idea that the relationship could be fixed, she started to feel like herself again. But the transition wasn't without its complications. Public scrutiny made everything more difficult. Every day, new speculation surfaced online, articles claiming she was devastated, or that she wanted reconciliation, or that she was surprised by the filing. None of those narratives felt true to her experience, and privately, she found it frustrating. She didn't want to argue with the media, the insider explained. She didn't want to correct every rumor. She was exhausted. The only thing she cared about was setting healthy boundaries and finishing the process so she could move on. Navigating life in the spotlight. Living through a separation is emotionally exhausting under any circumstance, but for Richards, the spotlight amplified every detail. Paparazzi camped out near her home, hoping to catch even the slightest shift in her demeanor. Comment sections filled with assumptions about what had gone wrong. Social media accounts began resharing old footage from her time on reality television, breaking down every moment as if it were evidence. She tried to ignore it, but it was overwhelming, the source admitted. She felt like everyone had an opinion about her life, even people who didn't know her at all. At the same time, she was dealing with legal meetings, paperwork, and the constant logistics that come with ending a marriage. Those close to her said she handled it with grace, quietly, determinedly, and without creating unnecessary conflict. She made a decision early on not to respond emotionally, the insider shared. She didn't want to escalate anything. She just wanted things to be fair and peaceful so she could walk away with dignity. Her support circle widens. During this period, Richards leaned heavily on her inner circle. Her children, close friends, and several industry colleagues stepped in to support her emotionally. They cooked for her during her recovery, kept her company during long days inside the house, and helped her stay focused on healing in every sense of the word. "She's always been the strong one, the peacemaker," a friend said. But this time, she let people show up for her. It was beautiful to see. She finally realized she didn't have to carry everything alone. Although she maintained privacy regarding the specific details of her separation, she spoke openly with her friends about wanting to create a future that felt calm, balanced, and authentic. She didn't want to rush into new projects or new relationships. She wanted time to reground herself. Friends said she frequently talked about the idea of rediscovering joy, the small, everyday moments she once loved, but had stopped noticing during the most stressful parts of her marriage. She started walking on the beach again, one friend shared. She spent more time decorating her house, reorganizing her things, trying new recipes. She even started journaling. It was like she was rebuilding herself from the inside out. A turning point in court. When the judge granted her a long-term legal measure ensuring personal space and peace, it marked a pivotal moment. The decision in her mind symbolized a shift in the power dynamic that had defined the end of the marriage. It allowed her to step back and genuinely breathe, without fear, without tension, without constant second-guessing. She cried that day, the insider revealed, not because she was sad, but because it felt like a new beginning. She felt protected, heard, and validated. The ruling gave her the confidence to move through the divorce proceedings with more certainty. She began attending meetings with her legal team, feeling more grounded, making decisions more clearly, and trusting her instincts without hesitation. It was like she reclaimed her voice, the insider said. She no longer felt afraid to advocate for what she needed. Erin's reaction to the shift. Meanwhile, the insider claimed that her estranged husband noticed the shift in her demeanor. At first, he reportedly attempted to re-establish emotional contact, hoping to revisit conversations they had once put aside. But Richard stayed firm and respectful, maintaining the boundaries she had put in place.